So the 2018 midterms definitely made history, and there were plenty of firsts to emerge from election night. First of all, there was a record number of women to win seats in the House.
Yeah!
Absolutely. Continue on. Yes, for sure. Worthy of applause. With 96 women and 31 women newly elected. This tops a previous record of 85 representatives. Very exciting stuff there. How about some more firsts?
Yeah, give us some more.
Democrat Sharice Davids from Kansas and Deb Haaland from New Mexico will become the first Native American women elected to Congress. Continuing on, in Michigan, Democrat Rashida Tlaib and Ilhan Omar from Minnesota are the first Muslim women in Congress. These diverse candidates are breaking barriers across the country and changing the face of Congress and state houses. Plus, we have more firsts that made history that we're going to talk about later on in the show. But this has to make you feel good. Maybe there's some losses that occurred last night, depending on where you stand. But this is definitely a win without question.
Oh my gosh, it's so much progress. I love this so much. I think that anytime it's not just straight white males making decisions in politics, it's a win for us because we're not all straight white males, right?
Yeah.
So this is awesome to see. The one that I'm so excited about is the one in Kansas. My friends from Kansas came and visited me this last weekend, and they were telling me all about her. Sharice Davids, like as you mentioned, she's the first gay Native American woman who's also a freaking MMA fighter, and she won that in Kansas of all places. I just think that's
really
so cool.
She beat that election up, huh?
Yes.
I just think this is whether some people felt losses, some people felt wins last night, depending on where you stand. But I think as Americans, we can all be happy of so many people, so many more women are running, so many more LGBTQ people are running, so many more just a diverse range of people are running, and they're stepping up to the plate and they're trying to make their voice heard. And I think that's something that we can all celebrate. We had so many first-time voters, first-time midterm election voters, and I think it's just important to be proud of what we did yesterday as a country. We reached record numbers in terms of heading to the polls.
Yeah, and I think, in terms of minority votes, we're definitely record numbers. And even Brandon Pope went to his social media to say the idea that millennials don't go out and vote, that idea is dead. They went out in droves yesterday, which is a really cool thing. There were some near wins that were losses, again, depending on where you see on the side of the aisle, but they were definitely first that did not come to fruition. Andrew Gillum, who you spoke about earlier, had the opportunity to be Florida's first black governor. He lost in a narrow one there to Representative Ron DeSantis. You also had, coming out of Vermont, the first transgender nominee, which was history, could not get it done. Christine Hallequist failed to defeat the GOP governor there, and Phil Scott. So we're still waiting to see what happens with Stacey Abrams down there in Georgia, who is yet to concede. But there were some near firsts that would have been monumental as well.
But just the fact that they ran is important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Transgender first ever nominee, and that's coming out of the state of Vermont. So that is progress.
Yes, and they may not have won, but they broke down that barrier, and now other people like them see like, oh, there's this transgender person who actually had a shot at this, And they think, oh, maybe I could do that one day. So it's still inspiring, even if they weren't all wins for everyone. Obviously, we can't all have what we want, but some pretty cool barriers being broken down there.
Yeah, no question. Hope is definitely a theme that has come out of it. Let's talk about Hollywood. Rebel Wilson finally apologizes after she made the claim that she'd be the first ever plus-size woman in a rom-com lead. She obviously forgot about some notable names here in Queen Latifah, in Monique, and Ricki Lake. I guess it's better late than never that she acknowledges, and I think it was maybe prompted by a tweet that came from Monique, as you see right here. A little bit of love, then a little bit of a check going on here.
How Monique
hey,
does.
my sweet sister, let's please not allow this business to erase our talent with giving gray areas and technicalities. Take a moment, know the history. Don't be a part of erasing it. I wish you the best.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what served Rebel to say. And Rebel did respond immediately to that and say, I'm sorry, I did not, and then started to explain herself, which prompted that from Monique. But then I think she came out and said, hey, let me just acknowledge I'm wrong. And I think it's never too late to do that.
So 100% glad that they handled that in a respectable way. Usually, we might end up seeing women fighting in Hollywood. So glad that they did that. But I don't think it's ever too late to apologize. And here she is. And we have all spoken and then had to kind of backtrack and correct ourselves. So I think anyone can relate to that. If you're in the public eye, you have to work better to know what you're talking about. But there's nothing wrong with correcting yourself.
And like what?
Can I take you one further here? I don't think maybe certain people would apologize in this position. I think Rebel Wilson is a marginal name in Hollywood and was going up against some big time names here and was like, this is when I lose and I never get a shot again. This is my shot on the big stage. I've got a lead. I should embrace this. The last thing I need is some negativity caught up with drama with bigger names than I.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think if this is somebody who's already established the level. Now, Rebel
So
Wilson's
you think
been
she's
around.
bowing down because she has no choice?
They were like,
And she's
"Girl,
been around.
sit down."
She's been a scene stealer for so long,
Yeah.
and so she's had that notoriety. But now this is her moment, and I think she recognizes, hey, I don't want to lose my moment before it really gets kick-started here.
Yeah, and I mean, the thing is, it's painful to hear things that you don't want to hear, especially when people are telling you that you're wrong about something.
I wouldn't know what that's like.
No, of course not, Charlotte. But, you know, she was initially blocking people that were, like, tweeting at her and saying all of these things. And then she had to take a minute after this interaction and was, like, unblocking everybody and was like, okay,
Good
yeah,
PR
you
team
guys are
working
right.
around
So,
right there.
I mean, yeah.
The UK babysitting app, Bustle. It sounds like a pretty cool idea. It posted a dream ad. It basically tries to locate babysitters for certain gigs. Well, how about this one? It was an invitation to join a family on an all-expense-paid Christmas vacation to the Bahamas. So check this out. You get your own room. You get your own flight. They're even allowing you some free time. There's one catch. You actually do have to babysit, naturally. You got to look after 2 toddlers at breakfast and at bedtime, and that is it. So would you guys jump on this one? I don't think there could be a better babysitting gig.
Anytime it says all expenses paid in the ad, as if that's your compensation, it makes you think a little bit. Yeah, it would be cool to go to the Bahamas, but at the end of the day, you're there to work. So I think before I would apply for anything like this, and I used to babysit quite a bit back in my day. I don't know about you guys.
I bet you'd be a fun babysitter.
I was. I get weird with the kids. Wait, that sounded bad. That's not what I meant.
That's not what you want to. That's not what you want to project at 6:19 on a Wednesday.
Play and be silly. Okay. Anyway.
She used to be a babysitter. You hear that?
and a teacher, guys.
You were a teacher?
Okay. Yeah.
What
I was a
grade?
teacher. 1st or 5th grade when I lived in
Overseas,
Korea.
yeah.
Oh
Absolutely.
my goodness.
But yeah, you have to just clarify, make sure, can you fly a friend out to hang out when you're not working? Make sure that you're not actually just there 24/7.
I don't think, Felicia, you're going for this one.
No. So the reason why I'm not is because there's not enough detail. It said you get a room. Does that mean a room with your toddlers, or does that mean my own separate room?
Yeah.
Like, I need to know what these details
Are you getting
are.
paid for the trip, or are you just getting paid?
Yeah.
It said you
your
might have
expenses?
some nights to yourself. Does that mean 1, 2, 5? I need to know the details.
Yeah.
Details, Bustle, details before we go for it there.
Yeah.
I probably would have done this when I was younger, but now I've got a lot of questions.
Yeah.